Getting pressure on the QB is the only way to play effective defense in Madden 24, and you need to be able to do it against any offensive formation you come up against. So if it's a spread passing formation, we need a nickel or dime look to match personnel with speed and athleticism that still allows us to get in at the QB. But then if they come out in a heavy set, we need something to match it with more linebackers and defensive linemen. So if they try to run the ball, we can shut that down. But if they do try to drop back and pass, then we have packages that can fire in at the QB and make big plays. And this 3-4 defense is what we're going to be focusing on today. Now, what we go over today can be run out of any of these playbooks, and it will be in 3-4 odd and 3-4 under. Then before we get on the field, we want to set our audibles for each formation like this. And then for coaching adjustments, we want them to look like this. So to start, we have our heavy 6-man blitz with pinch buck 0 in 3-4 odd. This 0-man pressure will absolutely fire in at the QB with insanely fast heat and just help you make a ton of plays defensively. With this, if they send the running back out on a route, we will get free edge heat from both sides of the field, and they will get in at the QB with insane speed, giving him no shot to find an open player. Then if they block their running back, now we're still going to get a free rusher coming off the edge, making this a great blitz if they start blocking extra players. Then we're also going to have this inside stunt with our linebacker and D tackle, and this can cause a ton of confusion on the inside and lead to some pressure right in at the QB's face. Then coverage wise, we will have a classic 0-man blitz, so one-on-one coverage across the board, and your defenders have to be able to hold up in coverage if the blitz doesn't come in. To set this up, once you call the play, you will see one linebacker auto walks down, and you want to take the other one and walk down in the opposite A gap. Then you want to blitz all linebackers, then slant your D-line to the opposite way of your user, and that is the whole setup. Then for our coverage, we have one-on-ones across the board, so you need to have decent man players who can run with their receivers long enough to give us time to make sure that blitz can get home. And we want some playmakers that when the ball is in the air, they can actually step in front of it and make a play. Then as the user, you have the player who's uncovered in man coverage. This will usually be a tight end or a running back, and if they leave on a route, then you need to cover them in man and make a play on the ball if they throw it their way. Then if you are in man and your player stays in the block, then we just want to play over the middle and help on anyone you see come open and help take these players away. Now this 3-4 blitz package is going to be a part of my new Georgia Bulldogs defensive scheme that they have used to dominate college football over the past few seasons, culminating in back-to-back national championships. Now early in their head coach Kirby Smart's tenure, they would employ a ton of 3-4 looks like we are breaking down today with 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers, and this was great to shut down some of the more heavy run offenses of the time, and we'll be using our 3-4 for the same reason. Then as college football moved to more spread passing offenses, he adapted his defensive formations and brought more defensive backs on the field, and that's what we're going to be looking at in upcoming vids for this Georgia defense. I'll link the playlist for this full Dogs defensive scheme down below so you can keep up with everything as it comes out. So next up, we have a heavy 6-man blitz with Tampa 2 in 3-4 odd. This is a 6-man pressure from the same double mugged linebacker look as pinch buck 0, so we can disguise which one is coming, and this will put a ton of fast pressure on the QB. With this, if they send the running back out on a route, then we will get 2 free edge players bearing down on the QB, ready to blast him in the backfield before he can hit the back of his drop. Then if they block their running back, now we are still going to get a free rusher coming off the edge, making this an amazing blitz to use if they start blocking extra players. To set this up, make sure your audibles are set up this way in 3-4 odd. Then we want to start in pinch buck 0, then audible over to Tampa 2 once we get to the line. The pinch buck 0 is what is going to walk this linebacker down. Then once we audible over to cover 2, he is going to stay down in that gap. Then you want to take the high linebacker, walk him down just like pinch buck 0. Then you want to blitz all linebackers. Then you want to slant your D-line to the opposite way of your user, and that is the whole setup once again. Then for our coverage with our user, we need to cover the whole middle of the field and pick up any hot throws we see, and if they throw it their way, step in front and go the other way with the ball. Then we're going to have 2 deep halves over the top, which are responsible for taking away any deep shots on the field on these plays. Then with our flats on the outside, we can shade down in our coverage and play hard hard flats, and these guys will play shallow and jump anything short they see and can make some big plays. Or you can shade up and put cloud flats on the field. These guys will play deeper and take away corner routes and stuff further down the field, but they can also make plays on footballs thrown their way. Now you just want to call either hards or clouds depending on down and distance and the type of routes your opponent is calling. So along with all these blitzes getting great pressure in at the QB, they can also stop the run up front, and this is why we want to use them when our opponent is playing heavier with multiple tight ends and running backs on the field. Though you can use it against spread offensive looks with multiple wide receivers where everything's spread out, and if you find it effective, you can definitely use it, and it is still going to crank up a ton of pressure. Now there's two abilities we want to use to make these 3-4 defenses even better. First, inside stuff on our nose tackle, and for me that is Vita Vea. This allows him to fire in the backfield and blow up runs, making it super tough to get that inside run game going. Then the second ability is going to be on at least one of our middle linebackers, and that is going to be the ability Lurk Artist, and I have it on Ray Lewis, and this is a brand new ability that will allow him to jump up in pass coverage and make plays on the ball, and this is really a huge bonus for our pass defense in these sets. Next up, we have a great 5-man pressure, and it is cover 3 Buzz Mike in 3-4 over. This is going to be a super effective 5-man blitz, but now instead of having both linebackers down on the line mugging gaps, they'll be back at normal depth, and this blitz can create a ton of pressure in at the QB. It will come in with our linebacker looping in unblocked through the B gap completely untouched, and if you have speed at this spot, they can fire in and make a ton of plays on the QB. Then this is all done from a cover 3 defensive shell on the back end with 3 deep zones with our safeties and cornerbacks, then 2 players locking down the flats. Then as the user, you are responsible for the whole middle of the field, and with the blitz speeding up their QB, this should give us a really good pass D on the back end. Here we want to take the D end on the same side as the blitzing linebacker, and we want to blitz him. Then take the high safety on that side and drop him into the flat. Then our user on this play is going to be the other linebacker who isn't blitzing, and that is the whole setup. Now if they send their running back out on a route, then this should open up this B gap pressure and allow your linebacker to just fire through this gap right in the QB's face to make a ton of plays. One key here is to have speed at your linebacker spot so he can explode through this gap and come in at the QB as fast as possible. Then for the coverage aspect of this play, you're once again responsible for the whole middle of the field. We just want to take away anything that comes open, and if they throw it, then jump it. But we can also lock this up and force the QB to hold the ball so our blitz can come in. Then we'll have our 3 players in deep thirds patrolling back there ready to make plays on the football, and we're going to have 2 flat defenders playing down low, and they're ready to separate people from the football. Then for part 2 of this 3-4 blitz defense, head over to my website Scheme Kings, and I have 4 more plays that will help make this 3-4 a complete defensive look. You'll get another amazing looping blitz that will get the QB's face insanely fast. Then we're going to have this double mug look with both linebackers on the line like our blitzes that we find in this video, but now we will drop out into coverage, get into passing lanes, and make plays on the football. Then we have another really nice coverage shell we can look at that's really going to help improve our pass defense. Then lastly, we have a nasty user blitz that's going to fire in at the QB and create a ton of big plays. Then there's going to be a ton more going up on the site for this Dogs defense to help make it one of the best defenses possible in Madden 24. Then also on the site is a new area where you can find all my schemes from Madden 23, and this is where my Madden 24 NFL spread offense is, where we break down the Bills Josh Allen scheme, the Joe Burrow Bengals offense, the Jalen Hurts Eagles offense, and the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs offense on the site. Also on the site, you can get access to my playbooks, which are full written breakdowns for my schemes, and there are 7 out so far, with the newest being my brand new Madden 24 NFL Spread Revolution offense, and this is 66 pages long and will take your offense to the next level. Then also starting today, I'm running a sale on the site. You can use code DOGS at checkout for 50% off your first month. So if you want to check out Scheme Kings, there will be a link for it down in the description below. Then for our drop coverage look, we have OLB Fire 2 in 3-4 over. This is going to be a lockdown coverage with once again our 2 linebackers back playing at depth like our cover 3 blitz, and then this coverage can help us make a ton of plays on the football and is a great complement to all our blitzes we'll be bringing in our 3-4 defenses. This coverage look is going to be a cover 2 invert look with 2 deep blue defenders, then 2 players locking down the flats, and we're going to have 3 hook defenders over the middle, including a 3 receiver hook we are dropping out. This is going to give us a great lockdown coverage on the back end. To set this up, come out in OLB Fire 2 and take your better coverage player out of your 2 blitzing outside linebackers and put them in a 3 receiver hook hook over the middle. And this can be done with the bluff blitz adjustment. And then for your user, you are just going to user either one of the vert hook linebackers over the middle. Now for the coverage aspect of this play, their 3 receiver hook over the middle will do an amazing job of picking up receivers and will react almost like another user in the middle of the field. And if they test him, he can make plays on the football. Then as a user, we're just going to be playing over the middle ourselves, and we just want to take away anything we see. And if they make a mistake, then go the other way with the ball. Then our flat defenders on the outside, you can shade up on your coverage, and this will keep your flat defenders back, sitting on some deeper routes like corner routes where they can step underneath and they can make some big plays. And this whole defense can give us a great coverage on the back end that can take away deep shots and some of the quick hitters, forcing the QB to hold the ball. And this is where our front 4 can get pressure and pick up some sacks. Now this blitzing scheme is going to really help you play much better defense, but don't forget part 2 is available right now on Scheme Kings, giving you some more great options in this defense. But then if you want a complete breakdown of the history of the Georgia Bulldogs defense and the personnel and abilities we are going to use, then you need to check out the intro video for this scheme right here.